Well, I think for a lot of folks, the impact of this shift from essentially optimized production across the world to parallel production across the world has will in many ways sort of very clearly have that inflation effect. But what I'd emphasize is that the sort of medium term, short to medium term effect of that is actually growth positive, which is very interesting. And it's globally growth positive because essentially what we're going to do over the course of the next 5 or 10 years is in each one of these different economic blocks, create parallel infrastructure, production and services infrastructure that didn't previously exist. And so if you think about it, the t-shirt manufacturing that once was basically in the US, then went abroad to Southeast Asia, now gets replicated. Maybe it's not in the US, maybe it's in lower income areas of the US or in Mexico or in the rest of Latin America. But that's just that building that infrastructure requires investment. That investment is a positive impulse on overall demand, which is actually in the short term a bigger impact on the inflationary dynamics than actually the shift in the goods production, because what it does, the actual investment has a levered effect on economic activity and happens today, not over the course of the whole productive capacity. And so that's like in the US context in particular, what we're seeing is things like the CHIPS Act and infrastructure and stuff like that, which are directly responsive to this dynamic, creating a lot of strength that would have otherwise not occurred. So I think that's really the first stage, and particularly important in the context of these economies that have had an inflation problem recently and are already operating at late cycle, relatively tight environments.